For years, you hear that America has the best military, the strongest military, the best in the world. But then Biden came in and you saw the withdrawal from Afghanistan, how we even lost what, 15 soldiers, and we were scared they were just running us out. It's really crazy. And now we got Trump in office saying that we have the best weapons, the best radar, the best everything, and we are unstoppable. So we're not going to war with Iran. We're just battling Iran. And Trump is standing on the fact that we have the best military. I mean, honestly, losing one person is a lot. I think so far they lost like 4 or 5 soldiers. But that's how it is. I want to see how strong America military is. And Trump is putting it to test. It's crazy. And at this point, a lot of people are walking away from the Republican Party or from the Trump MAGA Party. And this is not the right time to walk away from Trump. I'm still standing with the man, 10 toes down. Let's check out this report on what's going on with this war. Well, not a war, it's a fight. I mean, I thought we were fighting a bunch of turban wearing, donkey riding with a sword nobodies versus our strongest military on earth. Why are we afraid? Maybe they should be more afraid. Look at that.
Operation Epic Fury has entered a new phase, a shock and awe campaign to trigger regime collapse. U.S. forces have taken complete and total control of Iranian airspace, and now it's showtime.
The 2 most powerful air forces in the world will have complete control of Iranian skies, uncontested airspace. It means we will fly all day, all night, day and night, finding, fixing, and finishing the missiles and defense industrial base of the Iranian military.
So it's like we don't need boots on the ground, right? We don't need to put soldiers out there with the planes we got, the drones, the soldiers, unstoppable.
This is twice the amount of firepower that we use in Iraq, and we're using next generation tech, an unlimited stockpile of 2,000-pound GPS and laser-guided precision gravity bombs. High-powered laser weapons fired by the Navy are microwaving Iranian drones. And long-range, high-speed precision strike missiles are hitting targets with pinpoint accuracy, first time used in combat.
That's on another level. Why are so many people afraid that Trump is going to start another world war? And I don't think so. I think everybody's waking up and realizing that America really is the strongest nation.
Also, the first time, kamikaze attack drones. Space Force satellites are detecting Iranian missile launches, then within seconds, blasting out the launch pads. The Pentagon's even using AI to develop targets.
Yep.
We're even bringing back good old faithful torpedoes.
Yesterday, in the Indian Ocean, and we'll play it on the screen there, an American submarine sunk an Iranian warship that thought it was safe in international waters. Instead, it was sunk by a torpedo. Quiet death. The first sinking of an...
Finally, we're using all of our weapons. Waking everybody up, man. Don't mess with Trump.
An enemy ship by a torpedo since World War II.
U.S. Central Command has confirmed that over 20 Iranian ships have been sunk. The average Republican now owns more boats than the Iranian Navy. And we just smoked their crown jewel.
Last night, we sunk their prize ship, the Soleimani. Looks like POTUS got him twice.
We've knocked out their Navy, Air Force. Nothing safe, above or below ground. A new nuclear bunker they were building just got obliterated. Anything can happen, but this war is off to the best start in American military history.
We're doing very well on the war front, to put it mildly, I would say. Somebody said, on a scale of 10, where would you rate it? I said about a 15. Their missiles are being wiped out rapidly. Their launchers are being wiped out. And, you know, it's really a nation that was out of control, and they would have used it on us if we let them, if we waited any longer.
The regime leadership is either dead, missing, or cowering in bunkers. For us, it doesn't matter who rules. They just have to play by the rule.
Even when they get in bunkers, we have weapons that will go into the bunkers and destroy anything underground, above ground, on the water, everywhere they go. They try to get together to come up with a new leader. Boom. End up getting murked. Like we're using here everything. The CIA, Central Intelligence, Department of War, everybody's hands in.
More on that later. They've been warned. The IDF says their next radical supreme leader will be a target for elimination, quote unquote. Every mullah is on borrowed time. We know who they are and where they are.
Also, yesterday, the leader of the unit who attempted to assassinate President Trump has been hunted down and killed.
That's crazy.
Iran tried to kill President Trump, and President Trump got the last laugh.
The chairman of the Joint Chiefs says the Iranians are badly wounded and losing the capacity to fight back.
Iran's theater ballistic missile shots fired are down 86% from the first day of fighting, with a 23% decrease just in the last 24 hours. And their one-way attack drone shots are down 73% from the opening days.
Reports say Iran only has a few days of missiles left. We've heard that before, but if true, this could be a major turning point. Eliminating their ballistic missile program was one of the key justifications for the operation.
Iran does pose an imminent and direct threat to the United States of America based on the fact that they are the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism, based on the fact that they were rapidly and aggressively building up their ballistic missile.
You know, for a minute there, everybody had Americans scared. Like, we better not get them upset. They might just use their weapons against us. So it was like, Trump said, no, I don't think so. They need to be afraid, not us. That's crazy.
Missile program to give themselves immunity within their country alongside their Navy so that inside their country, they could continue to create nuclear weapons and nuclear bombs, which would, of course, pose a risk to Americans in the region and even Americans one day here at home.
Today, the mullahs made a mistake. They fired a missile over the Mediterranean towards Turkey. That's a NATO ally. Fortunately, we knocked it down. The regime's missiles can reach Europe. That was too close for comfort. So now Spain's caving and letting us use their bases.
With respect to Spain, I think they heard the president's message yesterday loud and clear. And it's my understanding over the past several hours, they've agreed.
It was so funny when Trump just said, we don't need to use it, but we could if we wanted to. We just show up. What are they going to say?
To cooperate with the U.S. military. And so I know that the U.S. military is coordinating with their counterparts in Spain.
No one's more nervous than China. Half their oil imports pass through the Strait of Hormuz. And as of today, the U.S. Navy controls that strait. We already control the Malacca Strait in Southeast Asia, the Strait of Gibraltar, the Suez Canal, and the Panama Canal. The U.S. controls all global shipping choke points. A full naval blockade of China is now possible. Their economy's at our mercy if things ever got saucy. So we're killing two birds with one stone. We stop the #1 state sponsor of terror, and we checkmate the Chinese. And on top of that, if this mission's successful, we'll control nearly all of the world's global oil distribution.
It's like the United States is the world police, making sure that everybody's playing by the rules. All right? Trump, the president, gets to set those rules and say, no, you can't have a nuclear weapon, period. Gave them a deadline. You got to get rid of it by this particular date. They didn't. And now it's crazy. Trump said in 5 weeks, maybe this will be over. I think that Department of War said it'll be over in 8 weeks. So let's see. I don't think it's going to be a forever war because they just can't keep up with it. They got 90 million people, but still not enough to keep up fighting the United States forever.
Now, so far, the price of oil isn't going crazy. Monday, it peaked at 80. Today, it's trading at about $76 a barrel, still below what oil averaged under Biden. Now, as we're fighting the Iranians, we're also launching operations in another continent. U.S. Southern Command's currently targeting narco-terrorists in Ecuador. We're juggling ops in 2 hemispheres. This is the greatest demonstration of American power in decades. And the Chinese and Russians can't do a thing about it.
That's crazy. Up against Ecuador, Cuba's about to cave in. El Salvador, El Salvador not really. Venezuela is the one that got destroyed. Little by little, man, everybody's getting attacked.
And the whole world sees it. There have been no reported casualties over the last 48 hours, thank God. And we pray that God protects our troops and that Operation Epic Fury continues to be successful and ahead of schedule.
I know.
That's crazy. Before going to Gulfville, let me just say, man, this is not the time to be jumping ship. There's so many people just jumping ship on the Republican Party and saying, I didn't sign up for this. This is going to be a forever war. And it's like, you don't know the information that Trump knows. That man got all this figured out. And if he says go, well, he made a threat. They didn't follow through. But Trump is following through and destroying them because he warned them. Stop trying to create a nuclear war. They didn't listen. Well, now it's game time. All right, let me listen a little bit of Gulfville.
I would cheer me too. Good evening, everyone. So on Tuesday, President Trump said most of the people he had in mind to lead Iran are now dead. Mm-hmm. The Democratic Party responded by saying, that didn't stop us. The Iranian Supreme Council has decided the successor to the Ayatollah will be his eldest son. Here he is accepting the position.
That was funny.
Too late.
That was funny.
In other news, NASA is planning a mission to the moon with a crew of 4 astronauts. Is there room for more? Asked these men.
He's not
True,
funny.
it seems that Iran's potential successors keep getting killed. But everyone here at Fox still believes we have the perfect guy for the job.
Like, I want to say Gulfville is not funny, but it's like, you got to be funny to say somebody else is not funny. So let me think of a joke, because this is corny. He's getting paid millions to be corny.
Meanwhile, the U.S. is getting international help for the war. Canada is offering political support. Germany is offering logistical support. And India is offering tech support. We love you, India. Yesterday on The View, while discussing Iran, Joy Behar said there's something fishy going on. SeaWorld said the same thing when she hopped in the tank with Shamu. You don't have to clap.
You know, it's crazy. Again, getting paid millions for these corny jokes. Let me think of a corny joke. Trump is just putting everybody in attention. You need to listen to the man when he makes a threat, because he carries through with them. He only got 3 more years in office. He's not a politician. It doesn't affect his pocketbook. He's moving on with his billions. And that's the guy you need to fear the most. A guy with so much money. He's 80 something. He got 20 more years of life. And he's making it happen.
They were expecting something much worse from you guys.
I know. I didn't go to that direction. California taxpayers have been footing the bill for Kamala Harris's security for her nationwide book tour. Yes, we've been told that she needs 10 guys to guard the keg.
That's it. I can't
Yeah.
take it anymore.
Finally, Hillary Clinton demanded beauty lighting for her testimony concerning Jeffrey
Now move
Epstein.
on past this guy.
House Republicans rejected her request. What's that called? A
Polemic?
polemic directed at you and your husband.
That is.
Yeah. I could have given you his phone number.
You would never get him off the phone, Brian.
Okay.
No, obviously that's very inspiring and cheering, and everyone goes, yay, and people love watching this stuff blow up. I mean, I'm not upset that this guy is dead, obviously. It's very much a good thing to see that happen. I think that I just have concerns about what happens now and what happens next based on the past. Now, of course, if we have a democratic government in Iran in a couple months and they take away the ability for them to have nukes and we're not having to go back in there, that would be exactly what I would want, right? That I would, not only would I say I was wrong, I would be so happy about saying I was wrong, because that would mean that the world would be a safer place, and that the people that Americans that we've sadly lost already, that would not have been in vain. I love my country. I totally hear where anyone's coming from who is excited by this and like rah, 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 rah. And that always happens at the beginning of these conflicts. I'm just a little skeptical, but I hope so much that I am wrong and that you're right.
She should get her tongue pierced or something weird like that to get people's attention. But here's my hope for the war, the fight against Iran. I think ultimately a team is going to go in there that is not going to be aggressive towards the United States, and they're going to be more peaceful. All right, not supporting terrorists, or not letting Iran come off as a terrorist supporting country. If that makes any sense to you? What do you think? Comment down below. Let me know what you think about how this war is going to end. So I think Trump is the best PR person. He knows how to talk to the public, how to talk to everyone. So I go with what he says. So he's just taking his time. He already told us that it's not going to be nice. You know, it's war. People die in war. Hopefully, we got the best technology, good enough technology that we don't have to worry about losing any more members. All right? They got to worry about losing more members. So let them tread lightly. Not Americans.
Right. I would say the status quo doesn't work.
Yeah.
So the next day with those guys in power don't work.
Joe, we're seeing Trump bomb Iran. Does that remind you of bombing on stage?
Yes, a little bit. You know, I got to say, I'm in shock.
Yeah.
I can't believe you let Brian say Vaseline and Endgame.
Yeah, I was sitting here the same thing.
Dude,
Vaseline and Endgame. Do you see him? He wrote it down.
I
though.
wrote it down.
He wrote it down.
I wrote it down, and then I forgot about it because I thought, you know what, he invoked cats. So I was like, no, I can't inject my Vaseline joke here.
Well, there'll be other times.
Yes.
I'll use it again, I promise.
So far, I mean, I'm disappointed we didn't take out a different anti-American regime in Minneapolis.
Yes.
But this head of Iran, it's getting to be a very difficult job to fill. There's not a lot of activity on LinkedIn getting the resumes.
There's
ready.
no more pictures.
Yeah, because when we used to fight Al Qaeda, that you always heard the headlines. We took out the number 2 guy, and then it was another number 2 guy.
Yeah.
And I thought, rather top-heavy management structure there. But here it's the top 50 dudes gone. They're into the DEI hires at this point because they're kind of like the opposite of Catholics.
Yeah.
Okay, because when we elect a new leader, there's smoke comes out of a building and there's a new pope. And in Iran, smoke comes out of a building and there's a new parking lot. So I'm with Kat, though. I know we're coming out of the gate strong on this. If the decapitation strikes work, it's some new way for regime change. But I'm looking at this the way I look at before I go on a date. I look at it and I say, how much is this going to cost me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I see the Persians cheering and I say, I want to stay hopeful with this.
You kind of got to forget about the money because we already give, like what he said, like over $1 trillion to the military. They better make use of that money because who the hell is keeping all that money? So here we go, Trump spending our wallet, making sure we make use of these weapons that he said we have. Is it really that strong? Should they fear us? Let's take a look. Trump taking down Iran. If he succeed, that's crazy. All right, let's move on to California. We got people who hate Trump, people in politics, the Democratic Party, who are doing their best to take down Trump. Let's take a listen to what's going on with Gavin Newsom.
Could have serious impacts here in our state. And KCRA 3 political director Ashley Zavala spoke with the governor today about the operation and his concerns.
In Alameda County, Governor Gavin Newsom was here mainly for a homelessness and housing-related press conference, but he ended up speaking at length about Iran and how the situation there could impact our state. He pointed specifically to public safety, security, and cost of energy concerns. Because of the closure of 2 oil refineries in California, the state is relying mostly on fuel from other countries. Experts have told us a global conflict would be problematic for the state's oil and gas supply. I asked the governor about all of this today.
Boy. So we got to talk about a major energy crisis.
That's crazy. In California, they got to buy oil from other countries. That governor should destroy Los Angeles on California.
That California is currently facing, especially considering how we're going to see some volatility when it comes to the price of oil globally due to the conflict in Iran. Okay, we're already seeing oil futures go up substantially. We're going to see how that translates to the price at the pump. However, if you live in a red state, okay, if you live in a pro-fossil fuel state, right, pro-energy state, you're probably going to be okay, right? You're not going to face the brunt of the issues that we're going to see as a result of oil prices going through some volatility here due to the military operation in Iran.
You know what I noticed? My gas prices go up. And that's it. That's the only one that is going up. I got a electric car, so I just plug it in when I get home. I guess my electric energy, but it's always been high. Over $200 in the electricity I pay here in the state of Pennsylvania. How much do you pay? Comment down below.
However, if you live in a blue state, a state like, for example, California, that has embraced the Green New Scam, that hates fossil fuels, that has run refineries out of the state, then you're going to see your gas prices skyrocket, okay? And that is leading to a full-blown energy crisis happening in California that Gavin Newsom is now lashing out about. Because remember, we've covered this story before. Refineries are evacuating. They're fleeing California because they can't operate due to the Green New Scam policies of politicians like Gavin Newsom. And because California is dependent on importing foreign oil in order to actually, have energy, right, in order to survive, they are extremely susceptible to what is currently happening on the world stage when you talk about the volatility in the oil markets. And that is leading to a full-blown panic because they already were going to experience a surge in gas prices. Again,
I am repeating or reminding myself that we live in a country with 50 other little countries within it. We got the federal government, and within the federal government is these 50 little states or independent government. So California buying gas from out of the world, it affects just California. Thank God it only affects California and the other blue states.
To the refineries leaving, but now with this Iran situation, it's going to get even worse. And of course, Gavin Newsom is pointing the finger at Trump, blaming Trump for the disaster that he created. Take a look.
What are you tracking? What are you worried about?
Well, I just, we saw the headlines of what happened in Austin. They're still investigating that. I'm mindful of that and all the injuries and deaths. The alarms you hear outside, the sirens are across the world, not just across this country, in cities and counties small. Our Office of Emergency Service. I mean, we've had conversations over the last few days that we didn't have to have prior days as it relates to emergency preparedness and planning and the unintended consequences, the uncertainty that Donald Trump has unleashed around the world.
Donald Trump has unleashed. He's supposed to be talking in favor of Donald Trump, in favor of this republic and what Trump is doing for Iran and the Iranian people. But that's just my idea. I want to give a shout out to everybody who commented. A couple of people wrote bad about me, but it's all good. My name is Noel. Here at Verbal on Live, giving you guys my opinion. I voted Republican. I got Trump's back. I'm not jumping ship. A lot of people are jumping ship from Trump because of this fight, but I trust his judgment. He's doing the best he can to settle wars around the world and settle conflicts, especially one that's threatening Americans. So Iran with the terrorist regime was threatening America. So he's taking care of it. So just sit back and watch. Unless you want to join in and get in the military and go over there and fight for us. But that's just what I think. And Gavin Newsom, I don't see him running for president, even though he might. Please do. And lose to J.D. Vance or to Marco Rubio. Those two are just kicking butt. So it should be good. In any case, I'm just going to live my retirement, do my best. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let's try to spread the word. Keep the ideas running out there that there's a couple of people still supporting Trump. This channel being one of them. I'm trying to blow up this channel little by little. The trick is not to give up. Just to record, put your ideas out there. Hope for the best. Or no, not just hope for the best, but live your best. With that said, see you on the next video. Peace. And I'm out.